Happy holidays from Disney's Boardwalk on college football's big awards night. The stars are here like the Gators touchdown maker, quarterback Tim Tebow, Oregon's excellent QB Dennis Dixon, Rutgers' Ray Rice, escorted by his mom, Greg Stelz and Glenn Dorsey of LSU, who are set to collide with the Buckeyes and James Laurinaitis. The Home Depot Awards. Snoop sets the scene.
Making music, playing the game, it's all the same. First, you need a hook. Something that's yours, that people will remember. The way you move or stand your ground, the way you lead or follow. Next, a groove that repeats. With roots that dig deep into the soul. Your school, its traditions, its colors, its pride. And you can't have a hit without a band that's tight, playing together as a team, as a unit. They got your back, and you got theirs. In the studio, on the field, balance is the key. Strength and style, force and grace, but most important, you gotta want it bad. Feel it in your heart, the need to succeed, to express yourself. Let the world know who you are and what you can do. It takes confidence, courage, rising to the test. Tonight, we're giving props to the very best. The Home Depot ESPNU College Football Awards are next.
Welcome to the 17th Annual Home Depot ESPNU College Football Awards. Ladies and gentlemen, your hosts, Chris Fowler.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, simmer down, please. And welcome. Welcome to a big night in college football. The 17th year we have presented the Home Depot College Football Awards. Coincidentally, that's about the same year I think Snoop got together with Dr. Dre in L.A. So maybe it's a coincidence, maybe not. And that's the end of the hip-hop lesson, unless Corso wants to pick it up from there. 1991, that was the same year that Desmond Howard, Ty Detmer collected hardware here. That means that this year's honorees, the finalists for the 9 awards presented tonight, will be preschool diapers, the year we started this. So time moves fast, but legacies do last a long time, and legacies will be added to here tonight. 9 awards plus the Home Depot Coach of the Year, capping an unbelievable season. What a season it was. The surprises, the stunners, the strategy involved for Ohio State and LSU to lose as number 1 late in the year in their home field, the big underdogs, put the pressure on other teams, and then sneak back in the championship game. I mean, that is some state-of-the-art strategizing. We admire Coach Miles and Jim Tressel for that. It all worked out in the end. And maybe the upsets and the surprises will continue tonight. We don't know. We have a star-studded audience right here. We've got the touchdown maker from the Gators, Tim Tebow, is here. Finalists for a couple of awards, Maxwell and the Davey O'Brien Award. Darren McFadden, also a finalist for the Maxwell Award, and the Doak Walker Award is last year's winner. James Laurinaitis, representing the Buckeyes, Walter Camp All-American team, and a finalist for the Bednarik Award. Of course, the Buckeyes will take on Les Miles' darn strong LSU team down there in the Superdome for the BCS championship game. We have legends here, legends like Tony Dorsett, Heisman, Maxwell, and Doak Walker Award winner before he, of course, went to the Cowboys for a great career. Tony, great to have you. Speaking of the Cowboys, we have Mr. Jerry Jones. Dallas off to such a great start, but he is an ex-Razorback, and he is here tonight to support his former coach, Frank Broyles, and the coach is being honored for his contributions to college football over these many decades. So a great night here tonight, and we hope you'll enjoy the next couple of hours. Joining us, my sidekicks on College Game Day, Kirk Herbstreit and Lee Corso. Gentlemen, what a year.
Oh, Chris, we're enjoying your humor attempt over here from the crowd. Enjoy those.
Nice monologue, huh? I tell you what, the writers must be on strike. Listen, let me tell you something. First of all, Kirk, I'm going to kill him. Well, Kirk, when you look into the eyes of the parents and the coaches, you see so much pride that their son is a nominee or a player is a nominee. And you know what? If you're invited into this room, you're an automatic winner. I mean, there's nothing but winners out there. Congratulations to the coaches, the parents, and the nominees for being invited to a first-class event.
Yeah, I think 2007 will be remembered for a long time for a lot of different reasons. Everybody's talking about the upsets, but for Lee, Chris, and I, our opening week of College Game Day, we were in Virginia Tech in Blacksburg, where their fans and that community really came together for the first time since the tragedy that they went through. The SEC this year, every single week you turned on the television, a game was going to double overtime or triple overtime. I'll remember the SEC this year as being the dominant conference and providing so many great games. And, of course, the upsets, starting at the beginning of the year all the way to the end of the year. Lee and I, of course, gave you the roadmap all the way through with all those upsets.
Right. You picked West Virginia by 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I picked them by 5.
Should have been by 6, really. And, we have no idea what's going to happen. But it's time for the awards. We're going to start with the Davey O'Brien Award, the #1 quarterback in college football. Let's take a look at the 3 finalists.
Chase Daniel, Missouri, the heart of the Tigers offense. Daniel's play helped spur Missouri's Cinderella season. He threw for more than 300 yards in 8 games this year, including the Tigers' big win over arch rival Kansas. Tim Tebow, Florida. Shattering one record after another, this Gator took the term dual threat quarterback to another level. He's the only player in college football history to rush for 20 touchdowns and pass for 20 in the season. In all, this sophomore quarterback accounted for 51 TDs. Dennis Dixon, Oregon, one of the most versatile and explosive quarterbacks in school history.
Dixon still has it. It's a crease. Dennis Dixon headed for the end zone.
Boy, he makes it look easy.
Here to present the Davey O'Brien Award, please welcome former BYU quarterback and the first recipient of the award in 1981, Jim McMahon.
Good evening. The heart of a team is hard to define. The leader isn't. It's the quarterback. This year's finalists are outstanding field generals and showed the same passion and determination that Davey O'Brien personified. Like many of you, I never had the privilege of watching Davey play, but we can all relate to his story, one of overcoming great odds. At 5'7", 150 pounds, O'Brien led the TCU Horned Frogs to their first undefeated season, the national championship, and was the first person to win the Heisman, Maxwell, and Walter Camp trophies in the same year. Davey O'Brien went on to play for the Philadelphia Eagles before his distinguished career in the FBI. And despite all the accolades he received, Davey remained humble, gracious, and kind. The O'Brien Award recognizes the nation's best quarterback based on the athletic ability as well as character and leadership. As the first quarterback to win this award, it is my honor on behalf of the O'Brien family and the Davey O'Brien Foundation to announce the 2007 Davey O'Brien National Quarterback Award to Mr. Tim Tebow from the University of Florida.
Tim Tebow is only the second sophomore to win the Davey O'Brien Quarterback Award.
Tim, congratulations. We'll do this lefty handshake. How's the right hand, first of all?
It's getting better. It'll be ready for Michigan in a few weeks. So.
Can you lift this guy with the left hand? I mean, that's the most important.
That'll be a problem. I don't think that'll be a big problem at all.
Now, when you were just a young lad watching the Gators as a big Florida fan, Danny Werfel took this thing home. What does it mean to continue that legacy about 11 years later?
It means a lot. You know, when I was young, I really looked up to Danny Werfel, and for his example on and off the field, and the great role model he was. So it's a great honor for me to accept this trophy, and I just got to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ first, my family, and the best quarterback coach in America, Coach Mullen. And it's just a great honor. It's an honor to be here with all these great athletes and these competitors, and Chase and Dennis. It's an honor to meet y'all and be here. I'm just thankful for it.
Yeah, you were well coached. This was your first year as a starting quarterback. What was the most important thing you did to improve your passing in the offseason to get to the position to win an award like this? Just
spend time with Coach Mullen, get to know him, pick his brain, try to learn offense and defense, and just try to go out there in the SEC and score touchdowns and not turn the ball over. And, just Coach Mullen taught me well, so I'm thankful.
Well done. Tim Tebow, great representative of the Gators, winner of the Davey O'Brien Award, and a finalist for the Maxwell Award later tonight. Big night ahead from Disney's Boardwalk. Just getting started. Stick around.
Suyak not looking back. Touchdown.
He just flat ran away from everybody.
Pump fake, Statue of Liberty. Stewart. And now it's Dixon. He had me. Here's the shot, shake and bake, dancing off to the right. Look at this guy. Woodson has a man wide open. It's caught. Steve Johnson, touchdown.
Welcome back to the Home Depot ESPNU College Football Awards. Back in 1997, Randy Moss terrorized defensive secondaries, giving the Thundering Herd of Marshall a weapon few could match. Moss pulled in 25 touchdown passes, setting a new Division I-A record at the time. On the year, Moss finished with 96 catches for 1,820 yards. In 2003, Larry Fitzgerald was on the receiving end of 22 touchdowns, setting an NCAA record by scoring in 18 straight games. The University of Pittsburgh receiver piled up 1,595 yards. In 2004, Braylon Edwards finished 3 receptions shy of 100. The Michigan receiver became the first in Big Ten history with 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons. Edwards capped off his collegiate career with 3 touchdowns in the Rose Bowl. Georgia Tech's Calvin Johnson was named the ACC Player of the Year in 2006, setting a school single-season record with 1,202 yards and 15 touchdowns. This 6'5" receiver twice was named All-American.
And right now, one receiver is about to join that legacy. The Biletnikoff Award is a one-of-a-kind award named after a one-of-a-kind receiver. Fred Biletnikoff, old sticky fingers, starred at Florida State, went on to become the MVP of the Super Bowl, number 11 for the Raiders, known for his clutch catches and the use of that stick in the pre-gloves era. Fred, a member of both the college and pro football halls of fame. Let's take a look at this year's Biletnikoff Award finalists.
Jordy Nelson, Kansas State. This former walk-on has established himself as one of the nation's premier wideouts. The Wildcats' go-to guy will leave Manhattan after setting 11 school receiving records. Michael Crabtree, Texas Tech. This rookie phenom amassed 1,861 yards, 21 touchdowns on 125 receptions, each being an NCAA freshman record. Crabtree also racked up 10 100-yard games and 7 multi-touchdown performances. Mario Manningham, Michigan. Manningham's big playability makes him a threat to go the distance anywhere, at any time. He averaged over 16 yards a catch with a long of 97 yards.
Manningham open, look out! Manningham is gone!
And on behalf of the Biletnikoff family and the Tallahassee Quarterback Club Foundation, we want to congratulate the 2007 Biletnikoff Award winner, Michael Crabtree from Texas Tech.
Michael Crabtree is the first freshman and the first player from the Big 12 to win the Biletnikoff Award.
Michael, congratulations. It is very rare for a freshman to win any of these prestigious awards. The first to win this one. You're just a guy on the scout team a year ago as a true freshman. Did you imagine a year later you could be named the top receiver in college football?
My coach told me if I work hard and do my job, and I'll be there. So
you believed him?
I did what he said, and I'm here.
The coaches say a lot of things, but it's good you believed him. And I met your dad last night. Your dad said he played some receiver. He was kind of your first coach in Pop Warner. He says you owe it all to him.
Yeah, I owe it all to him. You know, as a young, when I was little, he taught me a lot of things. I just carried it on to college and just playing football.
It's pretty heady stuff for a guy who's got a few more years of college football. How are you going to stay humble winning a Biletnikoff Award in your freshman season?
It's always room to get better. I think it's always room to get better, so I'm going to go work hard and try to come out next year better.
Sure, well, congratulations. A heck of a start to his college career. Michael Crabtree wins the Biletnikoff Award as a freshman. And Kirk's over there with the guys, certainly appreciates great receivers. Kirk?
Well, that's because he has plenty of them, Chris. He spread the football all over the field. Chase Daniel, the Missouri Tigers, and Chase this year going into the final week here in the Big 12 championship game. Missouri's #1 in the BCS standings. I know you guys came up short, but for you and for this program, what did it mean to have the success that you guys enjoyed this year?
I mean, it was a next step forward. It was a next step to getting to where we want to be, and that's obviously, the Big 12 champions and on to the national championship game. But for us to have a season like we did, it was something special.
For people that think, Missouri was a great story, Kansas is a great story, but it was a one-year wonder. What do you say to people that wonder what kind of team will Missouri be next year?
You know, we have a lot of people coming back, so, you know, hopefully we can, you know, match the win total and hopefully get some more next year. But, you know, we focus on the process at hand, and that's getting better every day.
How about, we just talked a little bit with Dennis Dixon about complexity of offenses and how it continues to evolve. You run a very interesting offense, no huddle, up-tempo. If you're a young quarterback out there that's maybe in high school trying to have that dream of playing big-time college football, what kind of advice would you give to a young quarterback today about trying to accomplish that goal at the next level?
I mean, offenses nowadays are pretty complex, and you know, the coaches ask a lot of you, and don't get frustrated. You know, no matter what happens, no matter if you fail, you know, the first couple times, stick with it and stay at it, and you'll succeed.
Hey, man, congratulations. Great year.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Coming up next, Kirk Herbstreit takes a look at the Walter Camp All-American team. Welcome back to the Home Depot ESPNU College Football Awards Show. Don't miss seeing your favorite Disney pals starring in this holiday stage show during Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, a special ticketed event happening select nights through December 21st. Here to present the Walter Camp All-American team, former Florida State great, Andre Wadsworth.
The determination of an All-American is relentless, and the pursuit for greatness is team-oriented. The skill, talent, and ingenuity of these men are the embodiment of what Walter Camp envisioned for the game of football. I remember the rivalries, the wins, we hardly lost, and the national championship. But my physical, mental, and spiritual maturation as a football player, as a man, was due in large part to the unselfishness of my teammates and the molding motivation of my coaches. The game of football made me who I am, but not what I am. That I owe to many relationships and my faith in God. I was privileged to be a Walter Camp All-American a decade ago, and now I'm fortunate to honor these students, these football players, teammates, friends, as a 2007 Walter Camp All-Americans. Now let's go to Kirk Herbstreit with the Walter Camp defense.
Well, Andre, I think you're going to love this year's defensive unit. We're going to start on the defensive line with Glenn Dorsey of LSU and Cedric Ellis of USC, who form a great tandem of defensive tackles. How about Chris Long and George Selvey? Chris Long, of course, of Virginia, and George Selvey of USF give us tremendous speed off the edge. Our three linebackers, Dan Connor of Penn State, Jordan Dizon of Colorado, and James Laurinaitis of Ohio State. And all three provided such great leadership this year for their teams. In the secondary, Antoine Cason of Arizona, Aqib Talib from Kansas are our two corners, both outstanding players, probably could cover any receiver this year in the country. And our two safeties, Jamie Silva of Boston College, maybe the most physical safety this year in the country, and Craig Stelz, always in the right place at the right time for the Tigers this year on their defensive side. And our two specialists, Kevin Huber, the punter from the University of Cincinnati, and kick return man Felix Jones of Arkansas. Now let's go to Chris, who's with one of our men, Chris Long of Virginia.
Kirk, thank you. Chris was up here saying how much fun it'd be to play on the defensive line with Ellis and Dorsey and Selvey, huh? It'd be a blast.
Yeah, we were just saying how nobody would get doubled, and maybe we just let Glenn get doubled, and we could do all the sacking and all that stuff. So.
Yeah, he had a great year. Virginia won so many close games. The first team ever to win 5 games by 1 or 2 points. So almost every snap was meaningful. Pressure throughout.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't intend on making it that interesting. We obviously wanted to win those games by a wider margin, but you know, on defense, it's good to never relax, so kind of helped us out that way.
Besides being a Walter Camp All-American, Chris, by the way, won the Hendricks Award this week, which goes to the top defensive end in college football, named for a former teammate of your dad's with the Raiders, huh? So
yeah.
You did something he hadn't done in college.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, you know, that's about where it stops there. So, I mean, it was a tremendous honor to hear that, and you know, I heard nothing but good things about Ted Hendricks and what a smart, tough player he was from my dad. So, you know, it's definitely an honor.
Get some pretty high standards set for yourself at the next level. Have you thought about that after your bowl game?
No, you know, I really got enough to worry about on a day-to-day basis. Just trying to put my shoes on and go to work every day. So, you know, I just focus on right now and trying to go win a bowl game against a great Texas Tech team.
Yeah, it's a Gator Bowl against Texas Tech, so you get the shoes, get ready to chase Mr. Crabtree and those receivers. Congratulations, Chris Long of Virginia. And Kirk's back with the offensive lineup right now.
Well, Chris, you're going to love this year's offensive unit. We're going to start up front with the offensive line. Our center is Jonathan Luigs, a center from Arkansas. The rest of the offensive linemen are strictly tackles. Sam Baker from USC, Anthony Collins from Kansas, Tony Hills from Texas, Jake Long from the University of Michigan, and our tight end Travis Beckham from Wisconsin. What a talent Travis Beckham is. Our quarterback, of course, Tim Tebow, accounting for 51 touchdowns this year for the Gators. Enough said there. How about our running backs? Darren McFadden from Arkansas, who I think it really improved on the great year that he had a year ago. And Kevin Smith from the University of Central Florida, 2,448 yards this year for George O'Leary. Our wide receivers, Michael Crabtree from Texas Tech. Michael accounted for almost 2,000 yards individually of receiving yards this year. Jordy Nelson from Kansas State, keeping it in the Big 12, and Jordy had an outstanding year for the Wildcats. And our specialist, John Sullivan from New Mexico, is our place kicker. And John, I'm sorry to say, not too many field goals with this unit, my man. You're strictly kicking extra points. Now let's go to Chris, who's with Kevin Smith.
Kirk, thank you. A guy who plays his college football at UCF right here in Orlando, and you're a Miami guy that made a special connection with George O'Leary. When a lot of colleges wanted to put this guy at defensive back, he said, no, come to UCF and you could tote the rock, and it worked out okay. You guys really had a connection, huh?
Yeah, he gave me a chance to show my ability and recruit me at the University of Central Florida. And I've been thankful, and I'm just happy to be there. I've been happy since day one.
180 yards in your bowl game against a pretty good Mississippi State defense. You could catch Barry Sanders, one of the unbreakable records in college football. He did it in 11 games, 26-28. You'd be playing 14, but what would it mean to try to track down Barry Sanders' record that stood for a couple decades?
It just means a lot right now, even being mentioned with Barry Sanders. But if I catch him, it'll just be a lot for me. And I just want to thank my offensive lineman who would get me there if I broke that record. And it's an outstanding achievement if I get it.
It is a little bit of a struggle for the spotlight playing at UCF. Maybe not enough people kind of caught on to what you were doing until mid-season. Could you come back next year and create a little bit more buzz, you think?
If I came back next year, I think I would. You know, I think that'll happen.
You got enough buzz to be a Walter Camp All-American. Congratulations. Kevin Smith of UCF. We'll come back.
Thank you.
Stay tuned and you'll find out who is the nation's top running back. Last year, Darren McFadden of Arkansas won this award. Can he become the first player since Ricky Williams to win this in back-to-back years? Speaking of Arkansas, we'll honor one of college football's most respected men and the impact he had on the college game.
And when you talk about Arkansas, you think of Frank Rose. He is Arkansas.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 1976 Heisman Trophy Award winner, Tony Dorsett.
Good evening, everyone. You know, it's hard to believe that it's been 31 years since I was in the shoes of many of the players that are here tonight. At that time, it was like living a dream, with our Pitt team winning the national championship and personally winning the Heisman Trophy, Walter Camp, and Maxwell Awards. However, little did I know I was following in the footsteps of a legend. Doak Walker put SMU Mustangs on the map in 1948. He played primarily as a running back, but he also punted, returned kicks, and kicked extra points. He was a two-time All-American, Heisman Trophy winner, and Maxwell Award winner. The Doaker and I became friends in Dallas after the creation of the Doak Walker Award to recognize the most outstanding running back in collegiate football. 59 players were nominated, and a 162-member National Selection Committee narrowed the field to 3 outstanding backs. Let's take a look at the finalists.
Ray Rice, Rutgers. This junior running back was the power and drive of the Scarlet Knight offense.
This is Ray Rice, second carry. Ray Rice is sizzling. See you later. Touchdown.
Mike Hart, Michigan. Despite missing 3 full games and parts of 3 others, this Wolverine still carried the ball 233 times and racked up 1,232 yards. His drive and leadership helped spark the Wolverines' resurgence. Darren McFadden, Arkansas. The 2006 Doak Walker winner continued to dominate on the ground this year. McFadden amassed 1,725 yards, averaging more than 5.5 yards a carry, proving to be one of the most potent offensive weapons in the nation.
On behalf of the Guaranteed Bank SMU Athletic Forum, I am proud to announce the recipient of the 2007 Doak Walker Award, Darren McFadden from Arkansas.
Darren McFadden joins Ricky Williams as the only back-to-back winners of the Doak Walker Awards.
You better hope you look that good 31 years after winning the award. Tony, thank you very much. Great. Darren, step up here. You've got one of these already. Now you join the great Ricky Williams with two of them. Was there a moment this year that stood out for you, and a year that was even better than last year for you?
Yeah, I feel like I had a better year this year. I rushed for 1,700 yards and lesser games. But I feel like the main game that stood out to me was South Carolina. Rushed for 300 yards. It was a great accomplishment.
It was. You also got to throw the ball, 6 completions, 4 touchdown passes. Were you lobbying to throw a little more often out of that wild hog formation?
That's something I worked out to the coaches about, but they just trusted me to throw a few passes. They didn't want me to throw too many of them.
It's tough in the SEC. That makes 3 awards for the SEC, Tebow, Dorsey, and now you. Nobody's ever won this 3 times. Is there even a tiny chance you'd be a contender for a third Doak Walker Award?
Well, I don't know. I guess that's something we have to wait the next year and find out.
Yeah, well, okay. Well, whatever you say, boss. The boss hog, Darren McFadden, whenever he moves on, there's going to be a lot of coaches in the SEC. Glad to see you move on, and Mr. Corso is with one of them right now.
Yeah, I'm with Les Miles. Congratulations, Coach, on a sensational season. Needless to say, you've had a hectic 10 days. Can you kind of express to us the emotion that you've been through up and down these last 10 days?
Well, we saw McFadden in the last weekend, and he had a great game against us, and very competitive game, a 3 overtime loss, and our team bounces back, and we play a second team quarterback in a championship game, and this team's tremendously competitive and found a way to win, and then on the way home, number 1 and number 2 lose, and the opportunity to be in the game became very realistic, and ups and downs, but very exciting.
Congratulations, and we just saw your player, Glenn Dorsey, win this award. Tell us a little bit about Glenn as a player, but most important also as a leader.
He's the kind of guy that on the field you better design 2 for him, and it's we go against him in the spring and it's just not any fun. And but as a person, he's humble and hardworking. Enjoys his hometown. I was fortunate to spend some time with him on a Saturday not long ago, where he was the Pied Piper, and the entire town just kind of followed him around. But very giving, very serving man.
Well, you played it at Michigan against the Ohio State Buckeyes. You know the kind of game these guys can play. This could be a really tough assignment for LSU. These guys can play.
No, it's a tremendous matchup. That's a quality football team, very physical. It's going to be a great game.
Thank you so much for all you're doing for college football.
Thank you, Lee.
Congratulations.
Coming up next, we'll introduce you to Zervin Singleton from the U.S. Naval Academy and his relentless pursuit to fulfill his dream to soar into outer space. And later on, we'll recap the images of the year as we relive this incredible season in college football. Welcome back to the Home Depot ESPNU College Football Awards. So far, a recap of tonight's winners. The Davey O'Brien Award, Tim Tebow of Florida. The Outland Trophy, Glenn Dorsey of LSU. The Biletnikoff Award, Michael Crabtree of Texas Tech. And the Doak Walker winner, Darren McFadden of Arkansas. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, here's Lee Corso.
I'm with Jerry Jones, the owner of the Dallas Cowboys. And Jerry, thank you very much for coming. What did you learn as a player from Coach Frank Broyles that helped you be such a successful person in your business career?
Well, 50 years ago today, Coach Broyles came to the University of Arkansas. You know, he was a management major. And when he did sit down and talk a little football with me, it was all about numbers. He would say, Jerry, it's 4 against 3, 5 against 4. The coaches that coached for him, Barry Switzer, Jimmy Johnson, said that there was no peer as an analyst as a coach. But more important than anything, he was the architect of a state's emotional attachment to its only really significant sports team. And that's what Coach Brawls, he organized that, he put it together, and he did it right before young people's eyes. I was a young guy sitting there looking at him, and there's no question he inspired me to get to sit here today with you as the Cowboys.
What did you admire the most about Coach Broyles as a person?
Well, he always held his fingers up and said, it's the fourth quarter. We've heard that before, but he said anybody can play when you're fresh. Anybody can play when you're not hurt. But in the fourth quarter, that's when you've got to turn it on and call on all your preparation. What Coach Brawls has done in his fourth quarter is absolutely amazing. His November of his life. Since he was 65, he's brought over $250 million worth of improvements to the University of Arkansas Athletic Department. And more important than anything, he showed me and showed many others with his support and his caregiving to his wife, Barbara, with Alzheimer's. He showed that, boy, when it doesn't feel good and when you don't have your speed, it's still time to turn it on and play in the fourth quarter. And to me, that's Frank Broyles.
Oh, it's wonderful, wonderful about him. Now you're the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, and for the first time, they got the best start in the history of the Dallas Cowboys franchise this year. What makes this team special?
Well, I don't know. I wish we had that Heisman Trophy winner Dorsett back with us playing for the Cowboys, but I think I give Wade Phillips so much credit. He basically has come in, and our players are getting to basically have a role. Everybody can be a pressure player if they've got any speed or any will at all, and so I think that, of course, it's a trite thing to say, but our team is playing as a team. It's nice to have that quarterback, too.
Yeah, they look real good. And by the way, you know any way I could get some Super Bowl tickets?
Well, I thought I was your man. You've been telling me that all these years.
I know I can get them from you. Thanks a lot, Jerry. Greatly. We're going to be on later on when you introduce Frank Broyles. Greatly. It'd be great.
Now here to present the Disney Spirit Award, Disney Sports Media Director Daryl Fry.
English playwright John Haywood once said, "If you call your troubles experience, and remember, experience develops a latent force within you, you will grow vigorous and happy, no matter how adverse your circumstances might seem." As a young man, tonight's honoree overcame his mother's incarceration, his father's suicide, and a potentially career-ending injury, more than most of us would experience in a lifetime. Disney's Wide World of Sports Spirit Award is presented annually to college football's most inspirational figure. And I got to tell you, folks, tonight's honoree inspires us all with his ability to overcome the most severe adverse circumstances. His ambition and his focus is carrying him to inspiring new heights.
He was always looking up toward the sky.
We have engine start, 2, 1. We have ignition and we have liftoff. The shuttle has cleared the tower.
Zervin Singleton, United States Naval Academy. And it is my dream and will to become an astronaut.
A dream that could have easily remained just a dream.
Most of the time, it used to be just me and my mom. Sometimes she might have a boyfriend that we stayed with. And I mean, sometimes I used to see different things like domestic violence, and that was kind of hurtful, especially when you're so young and you want to protect your mom, but you can't really do anything because you're so little. And I mean, I used to see drugs and things, and how it affected my mom.
I explained early on because I felt that in his environment, he knew that there were things that was going on that was bad, and I always wanted to make him understand that no matter what is happening, you must stay focused and you must do your very best.
So at the age of 11, with his dream of becoming an astronaut in mind, Singleton left Alaska and moved to Georgia with Lorraine and Carrie Hall.
It's kind of like the wind, you know. He'll say he wants to do something, and before you know it, he's in the middle of it already. You just kind of wonder, you know, how did he do it?
When I set goals, I plan to accomplish them through pretty much whatever I have to go through. Nothing's really going to stop me with myself.
A week before high school graduation, Singleton was hit by a drunk driver and broke his collarbone, leaving him unsure about his future at the U.S. Naval Academy.
I didn't know about the Naval Academy, if I would still go or not, after they had disqualified me, but I knew I would still pursue my dream of being an astronaut.
Singleton headed to Georgia Tech, majored in aerospace engineering, and made the scout football team, only to be cut a year later.
It hurt pretty bad, but I wasn't going to let that deter me from what I wanted to do. And I felt that was my sign from God to go ahead and go to the Naval Academy.
Even at that point, you think, well, this kid's going to Tech. He'll just go ahead and finish his career at Tech and get his degree, and then, there he is again. He's right back. He's ready to go plebe summer. He shows up and tries out. And gosh, the rest is sort of history.
The first time I saw him when he came out for football, he probably weighed about 150 pounds, and I'm looking at this guy and I'm thinking there's no way he's going to last. Through his perseverance and hard work and determination, he's become one of our better players on the football team.
Adversity is just an obstacle. Don't let it stand in the way of achieving your dreams.
During his time at the Naval Academy, Singleton was faced with yet another obstacle. His father, whom he had just started a relationship with, committed suicide.
Deep down, it probably hurt, but you would have never known. Just the way he carries himself and just focuses in on the things that he's trying to get accomplished. It almost looks like that it drove him to keep going.
The fact that he has been challenged in his life so greatly, and yet he still manages to focus, to compartmentalize, and to ensure that he succeeds at whatever it is that he wants to do.
Singleton has managed to persevere through obstacles at all stages of life. But one of his greatest accomplishments is being able to balance football and aerospace engineering while attending the United States Naval Academy.
In May, I will graduate in aerospace engineering and be one step closer to my dream.
Imagine a kid when he was 10, 11 years old and he's living with his mom in Alaska, and whoever would have thought the guy would even have an opportunity to go to college, go to the Naval Academy, play Division I football. That probably was the furthest thing from people's minds that he knew.
If I had the courage that he had, I would be a better person myself. And he amazes me.
He's the guy that helps you hold on to that hope that heart still matters.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my extreme pleasure to present to you the 2007 Disney's Wide World of Sports Spirit Award to Brigade Commander, U.S. Naval Academy, Zerben Singleton.
Congratulations. Through it all, who was it or what was it that kept you going and kept you believing?
I think my main thing is just my faith in God, and had a lot of role models. My parents and everything that were with me, extended family that just kept me on my way.
A long, tough journey, but really a storybook end. You've been mostly a special teams guy and a blocker, but you have your 100-yard game and your final game in Annapolis, touchdown against Army, touchdown against Notre Dame, and you're part of that midshipman team that finally ends that 43-year-old drought beating Notre Dame. What did it mean to do that?
It's just a great feeling, and the brotherhood that we have just as a Navy football team, something I'll have for the rest of my life.
Goes by quick. One more game, Utah in the Poinsettia Bowl just in, 12 days from now. Then you get, Marine pilot training, the space program. What is it specifically that you imagine for yourself in your future?
The limits, the sky's the limits.
Do you have something in your mind, though, in the space program that you'd like to be doing?
I just want to go to outer space, maybe Mars or something, play for a little football up there.
You know what? Dreaming big has worked out for you so far. So football on Mars, if you could imagine it, you've made it happen. So we wish you the best.
Thank you.
Zerbin Singleton, folks, wish you the best. We're very proud of you. Disney Wide World of Sports Spirit Award. Well done.
Jim Thorpe is one of our nation's greatest athletes. Up next, we hand out the award given in his name. Then we honor a man who made a tremendous impact on the game of college football. Then later on, the top defensive player and the nation's top player are named. Welcome back to the Home Depot ESPNU College Football Awards. Ladies and gentlemen, now here's former Florida State defensive back and 1991 Jim Thorpe Award winner, Terrell Buckley.
Thank you. Another year following a great inspirational story. That was pretty nice what we just saw. Winning the Jim Thorpe Award in 1991 was a great honor. Following the footsteps of other outstanding defensive backs like Deion Sanders, Benny Blades, and Mark Carrier, it's an award that I still take tremendous pride in. Even after 14 years in the NFL and winning a Super Bowl with the New England Patriots. Knowing the sacrifice that I had to make to compete at the professional level, I cannot imagine how Jim Thorpe was able to play football, baseball, and win gold medals in the decathlon and the pentathlon. He is truly the greatest athlete that I've ever seen. It is no accident that the award named in his honor goes to the best defensive back in the country, the player who is always, not sometime, always the best all-around athlete on the football field. Let's take a look at this year's finalists.
Craig Stillings, LSU. A fierce hitter with a nose for the ball. This senior safety made opponents dread throwing deep into the Tigers secondary or over the middle. Stillings came down with a team-leading 6 interceptions this year. Jamie Silva, Boston College. One of the hardest hitters on the team. This ball hawk always seemed to be in position to make the tackle. He recorded a career-high 18 tackles in a game with Florida State. Antoine Cason, Arizona. This lockdown corner has 15 career INTs. He showcased his skills in the Wildcats' big win over Oregon.
Intercepted by Antoine Cason, who takes it the other way.
On behalf of the Jim Thorpe family and the Jim Thorpe Association of Oklahoma, it is my honor to present this year's award to Antoine Cason from the University of Arizona.
Antoine Cason is the first University of Arizona player to win the Jim Thorpe Award since Darrell Lewis in 1990.
Antoine, congratulations. As T-Buck says, the best DB is always the best athlete on the field. Now that, in your case, that applies. We talked earlier this season, there was a moment in your athletic career when you were in high school when you realized you had to work hard and apply yourself. Your dad was pretty tough on you back in those days, but he made you learn an important lesson, didn't he?
Yes, he did, and he always taught hard work, dedication, and preparation. So that's what I've always took to college, and it worked out for me.
I know your coach Mike Stoops is here, and what did you get out of the kind of the brotherhood of Arizona Wildcats that made you become the player you have been?
It's a great Wildcat family. The whole community, students are behind you, coaches as well. The coaches believed in me, my family, and my teammates. I have to give all the honor to my teammates as well. But they believed in me, and I just went out there and worked hard.
Do you have your wristband on tonight? You've got the Cason Cares wristband. This guy cares so much about the community. Explain what that symbolizes.
Well, the Cason Cares wristband is I lost my grandfather February of this year to leukemia, MDS, a form of cancer. In my senior year, I wanted to dedicate something to him because he was my role model, and he's always taught me, the humble ways and humble beginnings of a player and of just being a young man in America. So I wanted to do something, and I just started the Cason Cares campaign with a friend of mine at school, and it's going real well.
Yeah, you've raised a lot of money for cancer research, and I know there's a lot of folks, wherever they're watching, very proud of you tonight. Antoine Cason, winner of the Thorpe Award, University of Arizona, folks. Our next award is the Lou Groza Award for the top kicker in the country. Let's take a look at the finalists.
Austin Starr, Indiana. This Logansport, Indiana native hit 19 of 21 field goal attempts, including a 49-yarder with 30 seconds left, giving the Hoosiers an emotional victory over Purdue and their first Old Oaken Bucket victory since 2001. Thomas Weber, Arizona State. Only a freshman, Weber connected on 96% of his field goals this year.
Johnson puts it down. Plenty of leg. And it's good. The Groza finalist, Thomas Weber, shows you why.
Jose Martinez, UTEP. A two-time Conference USA Special Teams Player of the Week. This strong-legged junior connected on 9 of 11 field goals from 40 yards out. He also booted a league record 57-yarder against Houston.
Now to present the Lou Groza Award, the 1993 winner from the University of Florida, Judd Davis.
Go Gators. Presented by the FedEx Orange Bowl, the Lou Groza Award was started by the Palm Beach County Sports Commission and annually honors the top place kicker in Bowl subdivision football. In 1993, I was fortunate enough to win this award while playing for the University of Florida. After spending time with Mr. Groza, I came to learn the man they nicknamed the Toe had quite a story. Amazingly, Groza signed with the Cleveland Browns while serving his country in World War II. He was then shipped footballs and honed his skills while kicking on the beaches of Okinawa. After returning from the war, Groza went on to play for a remarkable 21 seasons, becoming the first player to surpass 1,000 points. He was later inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1974 and is viewed as the first true place-kicking specialist. The 3 finalists here tonight were honored Tuesday at the annual Lou Groza Awards banquet in Palm Beach County, and all of them are deserving of the award named after this kicking pioneer. On behalf of the Palm Beach County Sports Commission, I am honored to announce the winner of the 2007 Lou Groza Collegiate Place Kicker of the Year to Thomas Weber, Arizona State University.
Thomas Weber was the 3rd player from the Pac-10 and the first from Arizona State to win the Lou Groza Award.
Big smile from Thomas Weber. That's one for Arizona, one for ASU in this segment. Boy, to stand here as the Groza Award winner, and I'm told you didn't really have this job nailed down, that you really struggled in camp. Not until the lights went on and the game started, you start making field goals. How did that happen?
Went to camp, struggled a lot, and luckily, got together, and come game time, I was able to put them through.
To say the least. Now, you're playing high school soccer, you break your leg, and that kind of changes the course of your career. That was it for soccer, and then you discover football as the #1 sport.
Yeah, it was kind of a surprise, have a rod in my leg, and was able to take a semester off and work with Chris Saylor for a semester, and then Arizona State was lucky, I was lucky enough to have Arizona State give me a chance.
You got a rod in which leg?
My kicking leg. My right.
The kicking leg. You're on the way here, it set off the metal detector at the airport, right?
Yeah, that's right. It's the first time it's done it, but it was kind of crazy.
Oh, they don't like him at the TSA, but they love him at ASU. Congratulations, your Groza. Hey, a laugh from the crowd. We appreciate that. A lot more coming up.
Yappa Dappa Do. It's the Boss Dog, Snoop Dogg Double G. Oh, we on ESPN. Making music, playing the game. It's all the same. The Home Depot ESPNU College Football Awards. You gotta want it bad.
Congratulations to these 2007 College Football Award winners: the Nagurski Trophy, Glenn Dorsey, LSU; the John Mackey Award for Outstanding Tight End, Fred Davis of Southern California; the Remington Trophy for Outstanding Center, Jonathan Lewis of Arkansas; the Lombardi Award for Top Lineman or Linebacker, Glenn Dorsey, LSU; and the Frank Broyles Award for the Top Assistant Coach in America, Jim Haycock of the Ohio State Buckeyes.
As we salute this sport's best tonight, it's also appropriate to honor a legend of college football. Tonight we paid tribute to a man who joins the ranks of past contributions to college football winners like Tom Osborne, Vince Dooley, and Keith Jackson. Let's take a look at the life and storied career of Coach Frank Broyles. The test of a good coach is that when they leave, others will carry on successfully. Perhaps no other coach embodies this adage on more levels than Frank Broyles. Born in Decatur, Georgia on December 26, 1924, Frank's athletic prowess earned him a football scholarship from Georgia Tech. A talented tailback that could kick and pass, Frank was awarded the Southeastern Conference Player of the Year in 1944. In the 1945 Orange Bowl, Frank threw for 304 yards, an Orange Bowl record that stood for 55 years. Although the Chicago Bears drafted him, Frank knew a shoulder injury would keep him from any pro football greatness, so he conceded to his second passion, coaching. Frank eventually became the head coach of Missouri in 1957 and left for Arkansas the following season. Arkansas had always been a coveted prospect for Frank, and he went to work quickly. In his first season with the Razorbacks, Broyles went 6-4, but followed up with a championship in 1959, 60, and 61. And with that, the Broyles era was off and running. In 19 years as head coach, he compiled a record of 144, 58, and 5, won or shared 7 Southwest Conference championships, made 10 bowl trips, and captured the 1964 National Championship in the midst of a 22-game win streak. His achievements as a coach are legendary. He expected much of his players and staff and gave much in return. No other head football coach can claim the legacy that Frank Broyles built in selecting, developing, and producing elite assistant coaches. 29 former Broyles players or assistants went on to lead programs. Barry Switzer and Jimmy Johnson are the only 2 coaches in football history to have both won an NCAA championship and a Super Bowl. And both men played for and coached with Frank Broyles. As athletic director, Broyles has seen his programs win 39 national championships, 57 Southwest Conference titles, 37 Southeastern Conference titles, and 20 bowl game appearances. He has overseen an estimated $235 million worth of renovation and construction on campus. Frank Broyles became nationally known as a color analyst, calling the week's top games with Keith Jackson on ABC for 9 seasons from 1977 to 85. Recently renamed, Frank Broyles Field is extraordinary even by SEC standards, fitting for a man who is currently the longest tenured athletic director in NCAA Division I history. Frank Broyles will leave his position at the end of the year to become a full-time fundraiser for the university, as well as continue his efforts in finding a cure for Alzheimer's, the disease that took his beloved wife of 59 years, Barbara. The fruits of Frank Broyles' contributions to the state, university, and to Razorback fans will benefit generations. There is no doubt that the University of Arkansas, forever tied to Frank, will carry on successfully in his absence. But as long as there are Arkansas Razorbacks, there will be Frank Broyles. Remarkable career, remarkable man, remarkable story. And now to present the Contributions to College Football Award, the captain of the 1964 national champion Arkansas Razorbacks, Mr. Jerry Jones.
College football. If college football can inspire a young person to look up to a leader, a coach, and it can, if it can make that person dare to think beyond where maybe his family or where he had gone, it can. If an entire state can get inspired and come together through a forum called college football, then you recognize what we have when we are recognizing Frank Broyles and his contributions to college football. No question that I'm standing here today in no little part getting to be a little bit of what the Dallas Cowboys and football and the National Football League is about. Because of a young guy when I was 18 years old, looking at him, watching him carefully choose his words, talking to us as a team and educating us. I watched him as he organized an entire state and create funds for a program that didn't have national prominence. I watched him not only coach 19 seasons and only lose 4 ball games in the month of November, only 4 in 19 seasons as he coached the University of Arkansas. Those are the kinds of things, the way his frugalness, the way he basically was resourceful. He called it a big front door and a small back door. Take a lot in and let a little out. That's how Coach Frank Broyles ran the University of Arkansas athletic program. So tonight I want to join literally and represent thousands of fans, hundreds and hundreds of ball players, and if you will, several hundred football coaches that passed through his staff in recognizing Frank Broyles and his contribution to college football. Coach, come on up.
Coach, it's a tremendous honor for me because you've always been a role model for me in all the years I've coached football. Thank you so very much for being with us tonight.
Well, I've been blessed in so many ways. I've had a charmed life. I had the only job I ever wanted. For today, 50 years ago, I went to Arkansas as the head coach. But I want to tell you, I want to thank Jerry and Jean, his lovely wife. They were Razorbacks, and they're passionate Razorbacks today. And I'm grateful for their friendship and all that they've meant to the Razorbacks while I've been the football coach and athletic director.
Coach, you've had a wonderful Hall of Fame career, wonderful. Who can you think of maybe was the most influential person in helping you with your coaching?
Well, I've had a lot, but Bobby Dodd was my model. He was the All-American from Tennessee. He was my backfield coach as a player, my head coach as an assistant coach. And he taught me all the things that are really valuable about being a football coach, Lee. He taught me about integrity. He taught me about graduation for the players. He taught me about treating every player as if he's your own son. And I'm grateful to him. And another thing he taught me, don't leave the school you like. He stayed at Georgia Tech as assistant coach, head coach, athletic director, and retired in Atlanta. That's what I'm trying to do.
Sounds like you.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you've had some wonderful players play for you, like Jerry Jones, Barry Switzer, Jimmy Johnson. These guys have been successful in their career. Tell us a little bit about the emotion you feel inside when you see these guys who've had successful careers.
I watch the Cowboys, I get just as nervous as I do watching the Razorbacks play. And certainly when Barry and Jimmy were coaching, and Barry won, 3 national championships and a Super Bowl for the Cowboys, and Jimmy won, I guess, 2 Super Bowls and a national championship in Miami. I was sweating, I'm telling you. I pulled for them, for the Razorbacks. We are family. That's what we would like to be.
You know, you've been involved now as a leader in athletics, college athletics, for 61 years. Now you got some free time. Tell me about your new passion,
well, my
which
passion
is
to find a cure and to help the caregivers of Alzheimer's. Yeah. My wife had it. We went through the trial and error of being a caregiver for her while she was sick, about 5 or 6 years. And I saw the need for education, so we've developed a playbook. We've given out an Alzheimer's caregivers playbook, Lee. We've given out 100,000 in Arkansas. We're giving out 500,000 of them. They're all free. We're giving out 500,000 all over the United States. It's being translated into Spanish, in Italian, and in the nation there. We're going to have it. If we don't find a cure quickly, we're going to have it in every country in the world. It's a wonderful little practical tips guide that helps you take care of your loved one to keep her calm and keep your life better.
How do we get one of those?
Through the Alzheimer's Association. Alzheimer's Association, and then it's on the web also, alzheimersplaybook.com. But every chapter in America of Alzheimer's has books for everybody, and they're free. We won't charge a penny for it.
Coach, no one's ever won this award that deserves it more than you.
Thank you, Lee. You're a great friend.
Thank you.
Coach, stay put. Congratulations again. Bless you. Best of luck to your new cause. Jerry, thank you so much for coming. And Coach, just one more message here. We got a famous Arkansan wants to say hello via videotape.
Good evening. I'm very sorry I couldn't be with you in person tonight to extend my heartfelt congratulations to my longtime friend and University of Arkansas coaching legend Frank Broyles. Coach Broyles is known far and wide for his coaching ability and his outstanding record. His unwavering commitment to excellence and his stewardship of student athletes on and off the field. It is the intangibles that make Coach Broyles the kind of man he is. His career was based on his love of and his dedication to the game, his belief in service to his native state and to the people under his charge, and his commitment to creating well-rounded student athletes. I thank you for allowing me to express my appreciation to this great man. I congratulate all the recipients and nominees this evening, and I want to say a special word of thanks to Frank for a lifetime of friendship and for his continuing service and his devotion to solving the riddle, the puzzle, and the pain of Alzheimer's. You're a good man, Frank. Thanks for everything.
President, Whoa Pig Stewie, and thank you, Frank Broyles. We'll continue some more awards to hand out. Disney's Boardwalk. Welcome back. Here to present the Home Depot Coach of the Year, the Vice President of Marketing and Advertising for the Home Depot, Mr. John Ross. John, welcome.
Well, thank you. For the past 14 years, the Home Depot has had the honor and the privilege of presenting an award for coaching excellence. And we couldn't be more enthusiastic to be here tonight to celebrate the great partnership with ESPN and the hosts of the College Game Day show. You know, when you think about the Coach of the Year award, it recognizes those qualities of leadership, empowerment, teaching. Those are the same characteristics that we celebrate with our associates at Home Depot every day. This year's winner of the Coach of the Year award will join the ranks of recipients including Pete Carroll and Bobby Bowden, Tom Osborne, and last year's winner, Greg Schiano. Now, the 350,000 orange-blooded associates, some of whom are here tonight, were really excited, very excited about this year's recipient. This is a guy whose team generated a remarkable 11-1 season, reinforced how coaching is about leadership and know-how and inspiring others to get the job done. That's kind of what Home Depot's about. And his team didn't crack the BCS Top 25 until October, and now they're going to their very first ever BCS Bowl game. Well, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating the 2007 Home Depot Football College Coach of the Year, Mark Mangino.
How you doing, Coach? Good, doing well. Congratulations, Coach. That's a sensation honor. You know, you've had a lot of success this year, and you've worked your way up through the coaching ranks. Who was the most influential person in your coaching career?
Well, I've been very fortunate. I've been around great coaches, some at the high school and small college level that a lot of people haven't heard of. I've also been around some very talented coaches that are well known, Jim Tressel, and of course I spent 8 years with Bill Snyder at Kansas State and had a great experience, and then had 3 years with Bob Stoops, my good friend, and had a chance to win a national championship there as an assistant. So I've been very fortunate. I've been around a lot of good people.
You know what? It's 39 years ago that Kansas went to the Orange Bowl, and you've got a shot at them this year. Tell me, what made this team so special? Because you had a special year.
Well, I think basically it's the kids made a difference. This is a culmination of several years of hard work by our players and assistant coaches. And this year, everything came together. We have maturity. We've stayed relatively healthy. We've been able to have some playmakers on offense and defense, and in the special game, special teams have really stepped up. And it's just a great bunch of kids. I think the character of the kids is what stands out more than anything.
Well, you know what? You could tell by the interview of the two players you had. Great kids. Congratulations, Coach. What a wonderful year you had.
Thank you, Coach.
Good luck in the Orange Bowl.
Thank you.
Still to come, we hand out two major awards as we find out if Tim Tebow, Chase Daniel, or Darren McFadden wins the Maxwell Award. But first, defense takes center stage as we crown this year's Bednarik Award winner, given to the top defensive player in all the land.
Ladies and gentlemen, here to present the Chuck Bednarik Award, the 1995 and 1996 winner, Pat Fitzgerald.
To me,
Football is the ultimate team sport. It requires intensity, dedication, and every component functioning towards a common goal. That is how I approach the game as a player and how I now coach the game. Chuck Bednarik exemplified these attributes, and it was an honor for me to be named the first recipient of this award in 1995 and then again in 1996. The players who are here tonight possess a commitment and skills that rival former greats. The defensive players nominated for this award showed all season long the grit and determination Chuck Bednarik personified. Here's a look at the finalists.
James Laurinaitis, Ohio State. The Buckeyes' defensive catalyst racked up 103 tackles this year. The Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year helped propel Ohio State to their third consecutive Big Ten championship. Glenn Dorsey, LSU. The heart of the LSU defense. This senior defensive tackle picked up right where he left off last season. More than just a dominant force on the line, Dorsey is a team leader both on and off the field. Dan Connor, Penn State. With 410 career stops, this senior playmaker became the all-time leading tackler at linebacker U.
Lawson swallowed up by Connor. The All-American middle linebacker came straight up the gut and drilled.
It is an honor to introduce the 13th winner of the Maxwell Football Club's Bednarik Award for College Defensive Player of the Year to Dan Connor from Penn State University.
Dan Connor is the third Penn State player to win the Chuck Bednarik Award, joining LeVar Arrington and Paul Posluszny.
Dan, congratulations. That makes it back-to-back-to-back Nittany Lions winning this award, 2 for Posluszny and now 1 for you. And Pat pointed out that Ron Vanderlyn was his position coach. So he got 2 from him, 2 from Pos, and 1 for you. You must know what he's talking about.
Yeah, he's the best linebacker coach in the country, in my opinion. And there might be another one on the way with Sean Lee coming up next year. And he does just a great job working with the linebackers.
What has it meant to carry on that legacy at linebacker U and finish up as the top tackler there all time?
Yeah, I mean, it's the reason I went to Penn State is because it's linebacker U, and to be even mentioned in the same breath as Jack Ham, Paul Posluszny, Shane Conlon, I mean, that's an unbelievable honor in itself.
Coach Paterno just went to the Hall of Fame this week. What has it meant to play for him and experience the sometimes tough love of Coach Paterno?
Oh yeah, he's a tough guy. He's a blue collar guy, and I mean that's what I love about him the most. You know, it rubs off on the players. I mean, you go in there and you're immature, and he really makes you into a successful man.
Congratulations. Dan Connor makes it 3 straight for the Nittany Lions, the Bednarik winner. We'll be back. 1 award to go.
The big dog in college football award is coming up next. That's the Maxwell Award. Will it be Tebow?
Tebow goes deep. Touchdown!
McFadden?
D-Mac not looking back. Touchdown!
Or Dixon?
Dennis Dixon headed for the end zone.
Don't touch the dizzle, my nizzle. We'll be right bizzle. The shizzle.
Welcome back. Time for our final award of the evening. First given out 70 years ago. In fact, Davey O'Brien won the 2nd edition of this award. And time now to meet the finalists for the Maxwell Award.
Dennis Dixon, Oregon. The Duck dual threat quarterback has always been a force on the ground. But this season, he showed more prowess in the pocket, completing 67.7% of his passes and averaging 8.4 yards an attempt. Darren McFadden, Arkansas, one of the most versatile players in the nation. McFadden is always a threat to break the big play and proved he could put points on the board no matter where he lined up. Tim Tebow, Florida. This Florida Signal Call amassed amazing numbers throughout a record-breaking sophomore campaign.
Tebow gonna try and run, get down low, surge in, and he's near the goal line, and he's in! Tim Tebow, touchdown, touchdown, touchdown!
And now this is an annual treat. Here to present the Maxwell Award winner, the winner from 1956, Tommy McDonald from Oklahoma.
Good evening,
Nice to see everybody. It gives me a great pleasure to present the 71st Annual Maxwell Award to the most outstanding player in college football. Wow. Give me another wow. And how about an awesome Tim Tebow. Ah! There you go, Tim.
Tim Tebow is the second University of Florida player to win the Maxwell Award, joining 1996 winner Danny Werfel.
Tommy, quarterbacks have gotten bigger.
That's right, they sure have.
This is a tradition. He chest bumps the winner, but I told him before you came out here, you might want to watch yourself. And
You're right, he's solid, babe. He's solid. No wonder he's going to win 2 awards.
Well, congratulations. This goes along with the Davey O'Brien. Can you put into words, you're a student of college football history, what it means to join that roll call?
It means a lot. It really does. Just to be here with all these great players and with McFadden and Dixon again, it's an extreme honor. And I just want to thank my teammates. I didn't get to thank them last time, and all the seniors that led our team this year, and Tony Joyner and Drew Miller and all those guys. I just want to thank them and Coach Meyer for giving us a chance, and Coach Mullen again, and all the people back at University of Florida and all the Gator Nation. I love y'all, and I'm just glad to be a Gator, and I'm just thankful for being here, and it's an honor.
There's a few Florida fans in the house. Congratulations, Tim Tebow, sophomore quarterback for the Gators, wins the O'Brien Award and now the Maxwell Award. He's, of course, a finalist for the Heisman Trophy Saturday in New York. We're back right after this.